Hey guys, what's up? This is Caticus. So today I want to make a really quick video to show you how to add effects to a single sample in a program instead of the whole program itself. And now this may seem stupid to a lot of people who use the MPC Live or X or One, but it's actually something that I didn't know for years. And then when I finally found out you could do it, I was like, wow, that's amazing, because I would try to add effects to a snare and it would add it to the whole program. So I'd put the snare on a different program in order to add effects to that, just because I didn't know you can add effects per pad in a program. So really quick, really easy. If you're in MIDI right here and you're looking at a program, I'm going to go to this program right here because it already has a whole bunch of them loaded. So I'm going to go to the effects sign right here, and then you can see it already has four. Oh, darn it. Hold on one sec. Okay, sorry about that. I had to load a new program. Okay, so this one here, if we look at the samples right here, it's loaded up with 16 different samples that are all loaded from here. I just loaded one of the browse patches, like if you go here and you add from the drums thing, it'll give them all to you. But anyway, so in here, when you're in the program effects right here, what you can actually do is, if you want to, you can choose a single sound like this, and then you can hit this button right here. Okay, so this means pad. It's just a single pad. Any of these pads that you choose, you'll see the number up here changes as I hit them. Okay, so you choose the one you want by hitting the pad, and then it'll tell you the one right there, and then you can add whatever effects you want. So put a compressor on there and adjust it a bit. Okay, so now I've got a compressor on there, and then I go back to the main, and I go here, and I add another effect. Let's put a delay on there, and let's make sure the timing is right. Let's go to quarters on here. There we go. Turn the mix down here. Okay, so I'm going to go back into main. So now this effect is only on this pad. You can hear when I hit another one, it doesn't have that effect on it, but this one does. So really simple. If you want to add effects to just one pad, you just hit the pad you want to, which has the sample that you want, and you hit this button right here, which means pad only, and then you would do the effects. This button right here is all of them in a single program. It'll add these effects to every single sample in this program. This one here is add it to everything in the track. Well, this is adjust everything in the track. As you can see, it's not effects and stuff like that. And then the last one here is the master effects. Okay, so this is track editing. It's not effects, track editing, and then this one here is master. So this will, if you apply an effect on here, it will apply that to every single, like the whole thing. So if I apply a compressor to the whole thing, it's gonna, everything's quieter because it's going through the compressor at default values, right? Everything's default, so it will by default make everything quieter. But anyway, so now you can understand how the effects thing works. So if you have an entire program, let's just close this here real quick. If you go to your assigned samples and you have everything assigned here, but you only want an effect on one pad, then it is this button right here. So you select that right there, which means single pad. Then you hit the pad you want to adjust. This one has no effect, so I can add a nice reverb to it. Let's go down here and go to reverb right here, and then a little bit of a stale one right there, so I can turn the mix down a bit, turn the time up a bit, and then maybe room size up a bit. Am I adjusting this one? Let me just make sure. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay, cool. I didn't select that pad. Let's go down to reverb right here. And we've got a reverb. Wow, it's already quite fat. Sounds a little stale, so you can make further adjustments there if you want to. You can turn up the time, down the mix a bit so you get more of the original sample in there. Remember, if you're applying an effect and mixes at maximum, then it's going to send the entire sound through the effects processing, which can be a very undesirable sound. For example, with this reverb, is as soon as it starts hearing the sample, it's going to start applying reverb, which means you don't get the initial like snap of, for example, the snare. It has a snap sound, you know? So you want that snap and then the reverb to hit it, not to be like start playing the reverb over the original sound, which makes it sound muddy. So you want to have more of a snap. You turn down the mix. If I turn the mix down to 0, you're going to hear just the sample as it is, and then you turn the mix up a bit, and it allows more of the initial sound to play before the reverb starts hitting it. Of course, you can have a delay and stuff like that on there to make sure it's even more fine-tuned. But that's just one quick way. But anyway, so real quick recap. If you want to apply an effect to a single pad, you just hit the pad you want, and then in the eyeball screen right here, you once you've hit the pad, you select pad right here, like pad mode, so that you're applying the effect only to that one. You choose whatever effect you want and adjust it accordingly, and now you've got an effect on that single pad. So you can have delays or reverbs or harmonizer or whatever. You might have a program, like you might have created your own program. Here, this is a pre-made one. If I go to assign samples and I go to browse and then I go to drums, then it's gonna choose something. It's gonna choose something with already prearranged pads. So if I load this up, it's already gonna have, like, let's see, where is it? Here's the new one that I just loaded. So I go in here and it's already got like pre-made ones, and some of these even have effects on them. If you go in here, this vintage kit TR808 kit already has one master, which is a compressor VCA. But if you go to the single pad mode, then it's got nothing in particular. Well, actually, it's got something on there. It's got a reverb small on this pad. But anyway, it might already have something on there. It might not have nothing. But you might not want to load up a pre-made thing like this. You might be building your own, just, you know, program one and assigning samples. In this project that I'm working on right now, I don't have a bunch of samples made, so I'm starting a new song. But if I had a whole bunch of samples, I could add them all to these pads right here, and then using that method of clicking the eyeball and then hitting a pad, being in this mode right here, hitting a pad, it's going to show you which pad is selected, AO2, AO3, AO4, AO5, and so on and so forth. So when you hit each one of those, it's going to give you the ability to set effects onto just that pad. And you go into this one right here, it's the whole program. So you might want to have everything going through a compressor. So you have this program going through a compressor. So all the sounds, all the samples that you add to this program are ones that you want to go through that compressor. And then the, of course, master mode for the song. You might want to run the entire project through a compressor in the end. I'm just going to turn that off so I don't forget about it. You might want to run your entire project through a compressor just to even things out in the end, and you can do that in the master mode. But I hope that gives you guys some added, I don't know, complexity or added usage to your MPC Live. This might be something so dumb that only I didn't notice for the entire, I don't know, 3 years that I owned this thing. And when I found out I could do it per pad, I was like, wow, I don't need to make a new program for every single sound that I want to run through different effects. I honestly didn't even think about that. When it finally clicked with me, I'm like, oh my gosh. But anyway, it was awesome to find out. So I hope this helps you guys too. Hope it gives you something else to love your MPC about. And you know what? I will see you guys in the next one, because this one is over. This is Caticus out.